Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Abrazo Football Podcast. Brooks and Blaine in the house, as per usual, coming at you with another episode this week. But today we're going to have a different kind of episode for the people. We want to talk today about the longevity that we're seeing in football in this day and age, more specifically, the longevity of one player in particular. Brooks, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah. One of the first idols that I had in football, Mr. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, is still killing the game. He just came back from injury, made his debut. Actually, he right before his debut, well, his return, I guess, he was playing with the youth side with his son. So him and his son shared the pitch in a little, youth developmental game. So, but now he's
Oh,
back.
really?
Yeah. Maximilian, one of his. I mean, it's crazy that was able to happen. But yeah, it's cool. So he's back. He's been obviously one of the things that I think I love because I'm super into health. My family's into health. We love to I don't know, stay active, stay healthy, whatever. But I do think that in this day and age, footballers are a little bit, the longevity is growing with their careers. I mean, even Messi is still at basically, not as spry as he used to be, but still playing at the top level, winning World Cups at this age. And Ibrahimovic, still in his 40s, is still doing it in Serie A. So that's just something that is super admirable, especially when, there's a lot of other things going on in the world of football too. Like you're trying to grow your image and your brand or whatever. So, it might not hurt to get out of the game as early, but you can just tell that he's still fit, still loving to do it. So that kind of just brought up a question to me, at the age of 30, I guess he just turned 38, Ronaldo, right?
In February, yeah.
Yeah. So then, and I'm not trying to dog the Saudi league or whatever, but how long do you think that's going to be the same thing for Ronaldo? Will he be playing at the top level when he's 41, which is Ibra's age right now? Or do you think that it's already on the decline while he's in the league? Because he's still killing it in Saudi Arabia. He was player of the month, I think, for February. A couple hat tricks.
Yeah, more goals than games. I mean, so I guess it depends how you look at it. You know what I mean? Okay, so you can go to an inferior league,
yeah,
and you can continue to play, or you can stay in, let's say, a top 5 league and be a bit part player. So I guess it depends on the person and what they're what they are willing to accept as their role in a team. Do I think Ronaldo will continue to play until he's 41? Yeah.
You do?
Well, his contract almost guarantees it.
Oh, okay. How long is that contract
So
for?
Let's see. The contract.
And I heard, I don't know if it's true. I think we talked about this before, but I don't know if it's true. I guess we'll see later on this year. But I heard that there's a clause in his contract that if Newcastle make Champions League, then he can leave Al Nassr and go to Newcastle because they're the only ones that can afford to pay him the wages at the age that he's at, I guess.
Yeah, I believe you. I didn't see that, but I believe you. But his contract at Al Nassr goes until 2025.
Oh, so it's another 2 years.
If he's 38 right now, next summer he'll be 39. The summer after that he'll be 40. So I guess that still technically he wouldn't be. He would have to play until June of 2026 to reach Ibra. But I would still say his contract almost guarantees that he'll play until he's 41. Now, whether that's at Newcastle or if he stays at El Nassr, for example, Ibrahimovic, he played his first game for AC Milan this season. So he's played one game, but that was an injury. So, that's not his fault. You get injured. Last season, AC Milan won the Scudetto. What would you say his involvement was in that Scudetto?
I think it was pretty crucial, to be honest. I know that I'm a fan of him, but he played 23 games, scored 8 goals in Serie A. So And then he played another 4 in just like the Continental Cups, whatever.
Yeah.
So
So
like
27 appearances overall, 8 goals.
yeah,
That's about a goal every 4 games or so. I
yeah,
mean, that's still better than a lot of other players could achieve. So, I mean, so if the question is, do I think Ronaldo could score 8 goals in a season at 41? My answer would be yes. Do I
yeah.
think that he would do that for a team in a top 5 league? The answer to that would be probably not. I just can't see Ronaldo accepting, not to be a starter for
Yeah.
every single game. Whereas I feel like Ibrahimovic, even when he was,
Yeah.
you know, before he was injured, when he was in his high 30s, like I feel like he was never the type of person, like he has a huge ego, but he was never the type that would like cause a huge fuss. Also, I mean, I guess we also have to take into consideration that he did go to Major League Soccer for what was it, 2 seasons, a
Yeah.
season and a half, I
Two and a
think. Was
half.
it a
Yeah.
season and a half or 2 seasons? 2.5. I can't remember. It's always weird because like the European season ends halfway through Major League Soccer, so he would have finished at Man U and then like played half a season. So whatever. So it's like, do I think Ronaldo would do the same thing? I mean, I guess I'm a long way. I'm saying I think yeah, Ronaldo could definitely play, but like, would he be in the same league? No, but would he
Because
score
he's
more
fit.
goals? Yeah, like it. Yeah, it's just at this point, it's just a question of like where
Desire.
would he be willing to play? Yeah, and
Okay.
like what he would be willing to accept. Whereas like
Yeah.
for example, like I think Ibrahimovic, he's out of contract. What? Not. I think he still has another year at AC
Yeah.
Milan.
I thought
No,
he did I thought they extended him a year or something.
or maybe it was 2 years. But yeah. Oh no, his contract expires in June. So
Okay.
but he might have an option to extend. But either way, like I can't see Ibrahimovic like going to play in like Saudi Arabia. I
I
can't like
can't
I
either.
feel like I feel like they have different types of egos. Like I feel like Zlatan has the type of ego where he just wants to be like on a good team and contribute and be on that good team. Whereas Ronaldo's like, I don't care if I'm playing in China or
Yeah.
Australia or Argentina or Italy. I just want to be the go-to guy. And wherever I have to go to be the go-to guy, that's where I'm going to go. But
That's what I'm.
what will he still be the go-to guy at 41? I think so. I think yeah. Even in it, like whether it's Newcastle or El Nasser, like I'm sure if he continues to be as fit as he is and doesn't get injured, there's no reason why El Nasser wouldn't say like, oh yeah, like let's extend your contract another year. I mean, if Thiago Silva is doing this at Chelsea, and I'm not saying he's not in shape because he's our best defender. If Zlatan Ibrahimovic is doing this at AC Milan, if Gigi Buffon is doing this for whichever team he's playing for in
Yeah.
Italy, I can't remember. I saw him a few days ago. There's the gentleman in Japan. Like all these other guys, like Ronaldo arguably is equally as fit, if not more fit than all of
Absolutely.
them. So
Yeah.
yeah, and like as long as there's a demand, which Ronaldo is might be the biggest brand in football,
Yeah.
regardless of how you feel about the man. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think for me, the answer, if it's not clear, the answer is yes. But yeah,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I mean, I mean, you brought up a really good one with Thiago Silva because I don't think that he gets enough credit. I'm almost like, do people not know that he's 38? Because it just doesn't get talked about enough. They talk about Messi's age, but 35, whatever.
Yeah,
But Thiago Silva is a defender for Chelsea, and okay, like X this year for one of the best teams in one of the toughest leagues, and starting and captaining them, and like is super pivotal for them. Aside from he just got an injury, unfortunately, out for a couple months. But
yeah,
this dude has been a rock. He was one of the reasons they won the Champions League.
oh for sure.
He's just so good, and at 38, still, I'm like, you're gonna. I think that no, we're not going to talk about this much, but Chelsea's defense is okay without him. But I think that team as a whole really relies on him to be there. So 38 years old, still doing it in England is impressive. And that kind of
Yeah,
brings up another question about Messi. Like, there's his contract extension. I think it's going to get signed, another 1 year extension
you think he'll do
at
it?
Paris. Yeah, I think he's going to stay one more year. I just don't know why. Like I texted that to you during the Champions League or some game a couple weeks ago with him. I was just like, yo, you just won the last thing you needed to win ever out of anything. Like,
Yeah,
what at this
completed
point? What
football.
else? Yeah, what else are you playing for? Like, you just hit end, you power off the PlayStation, and then you go do something else. I don't know what else to do at this point, at that age. Like, I get that at that point, I guess you just really love playing, or I don't know if that's about the money or whatever, because you got all these contracts
Go
the rest
play
of
in
your
the Kings
life.
League with PK, man. Go play in the Kings League with PK. You know, well, because this is how I feel. Like I feel like Zlatan, Ronaldo. Like, let's just be honest. Like I feel like they're in one bracket where Messi's in another. Like Zlatan, let's just call a spade a spade. He never had an opportunity, a realistic shot at winning a real trophy on an international level.
No.
Sweden was never going to happen.
No.
Cristiano Ronaldo, if we're being honest, we can say the same thing. Portugal never really has a real chance, despite they won 2 trophies on a national level in the last 2 decades or decade. They're never really seen as a contender or a favorite for anything. So like
Mhm.
these guys realistically don't have an opportunity to complete football in the same way that Messi did. So for them to continue to play, I mean, it's almost like there's a legacy in terms of like, okay, these guys have won Champions Leagues and countless titles and
Yeah.
cups and individual awards, but like they'll never get every single trophy in their cabinet. So it's like it's okay to go to China or to Qatar or wherever and get these trophies that people don't really care about. Whereas it's like Messi, like you're in this lane where like you had the opportunity to win everything and you have seized that opportunity. What like I'm with you. Like what else is left? Like from this point, like you only go downhill from here. And it's
Yeah.
like other players, like for example, you can go like Ronaldo could go downhill, Zlatan could go downhill, and like they'll both still have brands because they're a different kind of person. They're bigger personalities. Let's be honest, they're different
Yeah. Yeah.
personalities, bigger personalities. They're big. They're brands. Like they sell themselves. So like there's something for them to gain. Whereas like I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Like Messi continues to play until he's 40 and maybe he starts to fall off. Like Messi, like his jerseys sell, but like
Yeah.
no one's buying Messi gear. No one's really
No.
buying like unless it's like the special edition World Cup boots. No one's really
Yeah.
checking
No.
for like the general release Messi. You know what I mean? So it's like there's really nothing that, in my opinion, that should keep you around. That's worth you tarnishing your legacy. There's nothing that should keep you around that's worth tarnishing your legacy. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no reason why you should like worsen your stats. Like, your stats are at an all-time high. Like, there's no
Yeah.
reason why you should go out for Paris and play 38 matches and only get 3 goals and 2 assists at one point when your legs are shot. Like that. Like if you look at Zlatan and you say, oh, he played 28 games and only scored 11 goals. Like, that's fine for him because like he is still Zlatan and he's still
Yeah.
going to be seen in a different way. Whereas it's like Messi, like I feel like there's narratives and like the narrative wouldn't be as good. It's like, oh yeah, like he's on the decline. He's on the decline, blah blah. I don't know. Like I'm not saying Messi couldn't play. He could play until he was 50 if he wanted to. I just feel like the optics for Messi versus like one of those other two would be different. And for that reason, I feel like I have no place to tell a person what they should or shouldn't do, but I would advise him like you are like undisputably like at the top right now.
Yeah.
Leave. Like leave. You're at the top. You should leave. Like not because you can't do more, but you can't do better. Like you can't do
Yeah.
better than the best. Like this is like if you got 100% on the test and there's no extra credit, the best thing that could happen next time is you get 100% again, but in all likelihood you're probably going to get a 90. So in
Yeah.
comparison, because it's all relative, right? Like the year that he scored like 96 goals, he never scored it again. So it's like when they look at him, they're like, oh yeah, like Messi's not as good as he used to be. And it's like, are you insane? Like he's still like the top first or second player in the world, but because he didn't score 90 plus goals in the calendar year, you're looking at him like he's a failure. So like, I just feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all. I don't know. Just
Yeah. You have a good point
do
because
you, Messi, but
what'd you say?
I was just saying, do you,
Yeah.
but like you're opening yourself up to like unwarranted criticism and recency bias, and I feel like it wouldn't be the same. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, last year, I mean, I think that everyone knew that last year was kind of like one, like you take that one as a loss and you keep moving because 11 and 34, which again, that's like no disrespect, but for him that's really bad. But this year he's already on 17 goals, 28 games, and like I don't know, it wasn't like 15, 16 assists or something. So really an
Yeah,
incredible
but
year
but
again.
last year he didn't win football.
Yeah,
So it didn't
exactly.
matter.
Yeah,
It didn't
yeah.
matter. He was still technically on the proverbial
Yeah, he
come
had
up.
one more
He was
accomplishment to finish. Yeah.
yeah, he was still on the come up. So it was still
Yeah.
a part, like he was still in the process. The process is now complete.
Okay, so
So
in that being said, where do you stand on uh everyone is like, I mean not everyone, a lot of people are like, well, if he doesn't win it with the Champions League with Paris, this has been a failure of 3 seasons or whatever it's going to end up being in Paris. Do you think that, like, let's say that he does extend, and let's say that Paris end up not winning the Champions League. So you think that that will then just like bring him down as far as like what the people are saying about him currently. But if they win the Champions League, what's going to happen there? Nothing, right? It's going to be, yeah, sure, well, you should have won it anyway.
there's nothing to gain. There's
Crazy.
only
Yeah,
that to be
yeah.
lost.
I see
Because
that.
like here's the thing. But also like so say Paris isn't going to win the Champions League this year. I'm like that's not
They
a
might
secret.
not
They're
even
not
get
going to win.
past. Yeah, this is
They,
the
they
yeah.
exactly. Bayern might not even allow them to proceed.
Yeah.
But if they don't, when they get dumped out of the Champions League, Messi has an out. I won the World Cup this season. So
Yeah.
everything else that happens this season is null and void because I won the World Cup in Qatar. Now, if he extends with PSG and they go for it again and they don't win again,
Again.
now he doesn't have a get out of jail
Okay.
free card. It's like, okay, you didn't have an international tournament that you were focused on and put all of your heart and soul into, and
Yeah.
a valid distraction for the remainder of the season. You
Yeah.
only had Paris to focus on, and you didn't do it. Now
Yeah.
that's a check against you. That's a bad look. So I mean, I feel like, but if he wins the Champions League this season, it's just like, okay, like, yeah, it's like nothing to gain. You should have won. You have the World Cup, like I'm in my opinion the best player in the tournament in Kylian Mbappe at the World Cup scored a hat trick in a World Cup final. He's playing next to you at Paris. You had what, 2 goals in the final and an assist maybe, or maybe I'm padding his stats, but let's just say he at the very least had a brace in a World Cup final. So you have 5 goals in a World Cup final between you on the same 11. The expectation is you win the Champions
Yeah.
League. So no one's getting bonus points for winning the Champions. If Paris Saint-Germain win the Champions League, no one's getting bonus points. They should have done it. But if they
Okay.
don't, they have an excuse. He won the World Cup. That's his excuse. Neymar's not playing as well as he should. Kylian Mbappe is injured. Like you have a lot of excuses this season to where it's like if you don't win this, like at least in my book, like this isn't a strike against you. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying. Next year,
Different story.
there's no excuses. Yeah, different story, no excuses. The season before, it was also a failure. But guess what? It was a character building experience which propelled you to win
To
a
the
World Cup. So it's all good. It's all good. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you lose one, then you win the big one, you're good. But if you win the big one, then lose after that, it's like what's the problem? Like, so just walk away. Cause it's like fighting a kid. Like you don't win. There's no winners. There's only losers. There's no winners. So that's all. That's all. That's just
so
how I feel,
funny.
man. That's just how I feel. There's no
I get
winner.
it.
There's, you know.
Yeah, I
That's
see your
it.
point for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's maybe on his mind too. Like I could just take the easy out, go to MLS, still make a ton of money, still play the game, and not have anything expected of me. But that being said, with the amount of money with the amount of money that players are making these days, what's the point of playing to your 41? Like, what's the point in Ronaldo still playing and Ibra still playing and even Messi still playing, obviously? But like, if Kylian Mbappe wins a Champions League or 2 or 3, goes to Madrid, wins another one, why would he play till he's 41 too? I mean, I'm sure that physically you can, but does that mean physically you should?
No, hey, that's a valid question. So me, like for Kylian Mbappe, say he does win the Champions League with Paris. Okay. And what, he's 23 now?
Yeah,
Is that
23.
right? If he said I'm going to now also retire, I've also completed football. Actually, technically, he would have to do one more season to win the FIFA Club World
24,
Cup.
by the way, sorry. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so he would have to play until he's at least 25. But if he was like, okay, now we've won the FIFA World Cup and I've also completed football at 25 and wanted to walk away, I have no problems with that. Like, I was reading about Andre Schurrle earlier today, another guy who completed football, right?
Yeah.
Well, did he win a champ? I'm not sure he won a Champions League, but he
Would
won
he
a
not win
World
with
Cup.
Chelsea?
He won a Premier League with Chelsea. He didn't win
Okay,
Champions
okay,
League with
but no,
Chelsea,
okay.
and yeah, so he didn't actually complete it, but he came pretty. He has a pretty good resume, and he retired, I believe, when he was either 28 or 30, and he just said, I've done everything that I feel that I can do. I don't feel like the stress and like the anxiety and like the loneliness of competing in football at the highest level. There's nothing left for me to prove. I'm going to enjoy my life with my family. And I remember when he said that, I was like, bro, like I'm with you. Like, you have all the money there is to be made. You can probably, like, if you still love the game, which I'm sure you do, you like, anyone would hire you as a coach or a
Yeah.
trainer or this or that,
Even a
and
commentator, both any language
or
too, like English,
or any, yeah.
German.
So
Yeah.
like, you're good. So like why put yourself in like these situations that you don't have to, like, unless you want to, like Zlatan. Like, I feel like he just plays because that's what drives him. Ronaldo, I feel like he just plays because that's what drives him, and they both have like
Okay.
insane egos and
Okay.
insane brands, and they strike me as the type of people that always want more money, which I'm not judging them, you know. These guys also, like, these guys aren't getting contracts like Kylian Mbappe and Messi
Yeah.
at PSG. Like, they never got that PSG money. So like, I mean, Ronaldo's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, let's not make a
Yeah.
mistake about
Ronaldo
it.
got
Like,
that
he
Man
has,
U Real Madrid money though.
huh?
As a Ronaldo
Yeah.
got the
And,
yeah.
and he got that lifetime Nike contract money.
Yeah.
Like, he's straight.
Yeah.
He's just nuts for doing that. I would have, if I was Ronaldo, I would have retired at the end of Juventus. I would have just been like,
Yeah.
yo,
Okay.
like my career can't go any further. I'm gonna walk away with this last Scudetto and 4 Champions Leagues and call it a day. But
So you wouldn't have
yeah,
come
like,
home to Manchester for like a farewell season
never.
because it
Or
ruined him. I mean, but how he handled it is kind of the reason that he let it ruin him. No.
yeah, well, if he would have just played the one season, so if he didn't stay for the second season,
Yeah.
so
Killer
last
first
season when he
season.
played, if he would have just had that be his farewell season and walked off without a trophy,
Fine.
I would also respect that.
Okay.
I would respect that. The way he left Man U, that hurt him. Like,
Yeah.
people will always remember that. And now he's over in, El Nassr doing his thing, and
Mhm.
people might make jokes, but at the end of the day, he's getting a stupid paycheck, so he's the last one laughing. So no one,
Yeah.
like, you can't really, like, dollars make sense. No one can really say anything when you see that contract and all those commas and it looks like a phone number,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, international with a +3-4 or something on the top of it. So,
exactly.
and he's still getting coverage. It's almost annoying because every time I open up Instagram, it's like Bleacher Report or Goal or one of these is like Ronaldo scores. I'm like, bro, I don't care at this point because but he's still getting the coverage. Sky Sports still talking
Yeah.
about him. Everybody's still
Yeah.
talking about what he's doing in this league. And, congrats to him
Yeah.
because he's, like you said, he's making the money and he's still building his brand. He's still getting recognition, staying in
Yeah.
shape, doing what he loves. So,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
So, I mean, yes, I don't know where we landed on this. I mean, I don't think it makes sense to play at a professional level well into your 40s.
Okay.
I understand why some of these people do it, but I feel like if you've put yourself in a position where you can walk away with your dignity, I feel like that's always the best. Like, it's never a question to me if you can. It's more of a question as the question should be is should you? And the answer is, excuse me. The answer is no.
Okay.
The answer to that question is no. Unless there is a compelling reason. And that reason might be, for example, like if Zlatan was like, oh, I want my son to play for AC Milan and I want to play alongside him.
Mm-hmm.
That's in my opinion, this is just my perspective, that's a good enough reason to play until you're 45 years old.
Yeah,
if you want to
so
share a
too.
field with your son.
Yeah.
That's bomb. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But besides that, the pursuit of money. Like, I'm not going to judge anybody, but it's just like, you already have all the money in the world. There's
Yeah.
no,
So I'm a
that's
little
all.
bit against you on that. Not against you. I think that maybe I definitely see Ronaldo as wanting more money, obviously, but I kind of see Ibra as like what you just said. Is kind of like, I love Milan, I love the club because he's come back to the club. He's come back to the city a number of times because he's always played. It was Juventus, which is not Milan, it's Turin, but it's in that area ish. And then he left, and then he went to Inter, and then he went to Barcelona, and then he came back, or he went to Milan, then he came back to Barcelona, or sorry, he went to Barcelona, Milan, left, came back to Milan after, and now he's on his second turn with Milan or whatever. So I feel like he loves the club, he loves the city, and he loves to play football. I don't know how much he's making though.
Yeah,
So
it's not for the check. He's not
I don't
he's
think
not
it is
getting the
either.
check.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
obviously like I said, I love this man, but I also think that it's probably more for like other reasons because I don't know how much he's got to be. I'm sure we could look it up, but
it's for him. It feels like it's more for the brand.
feels like
It's
that.
more
Yeah,
for the brand and like the ego behind him. Like, I am going to continue to play at the highest level
yeah,
for as long
exactly.
as possible. And I'm fine coming off the bench if that's what
Yeah,
needs to happen, as long as I am still playing at the highest
yeah,
level and I can like rub people's face in that. Like, that's what gets him going.
yeah,
And that's my and like, I'm not judging it. That if
yeah,
that's what you
yeah.
want to do, do it. Like, do go on, man, do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
because
Do
especially
it.
people have been saying, "Oh, he's done now. Oh, now he's done. Oh, now with this injury, he's done. Oh, this injury again. Now he's done." So I think he does love to prove people wrong,
Yeah.
um, and that's kind of to your point about his brand too. Like I think that he's really smart about the way that he builds his brand, and it's like it keeps evolving. It's like it was this like crazy, skillful, fast, powerful shot player that had like the Brazilian like moves and had the speed of a sprinter and had the power of full, whatever. And then it just keeps evolving to this crazy goal scorer, and then to this machine of a man who like is now a lion and just he can't be stopped. So I think that he's pretty brilliant as far as who's ever in charge of his image or if it's him or whatever. But
Yeah. The
that
marketing's great.
marketing is great. Now there's the one man that you brought up earlier, and I'm gonna butcher his name because I don't know how to say this, but Kazuyusho Miura, the Japanese man who is still playing at the age of 56. I think he's in the third league now, so technically still professional. But he's on loan from Yokohama FC, which I feel like they're in the J1 league, so he's technically signed to to like a top tier club, but playing on loan in a third, the third division. But that's just for love of playing. Like I want to know
Yeah.
more about this man, but
Yeah,
that's
he's just
you could
doing it
tell
for
that.
the love.
Yeah,
You said he's playing for Yokohama?
he's signed to Yokohama.
You see what
There
I'm
you
saying?
go.
Yokohama. Yo, I didn't even know
That's
they had a
funny.
club. That's stupid. But yeah, man. Well,
Yeah.
I feel like last thing I want to say about this is just,
Mhm.
to each their own. If you want to play for the love, do it. If you want to play for the respect, do it. If you want to play for the money, do it. But
Yeah.
if you have the luxury to walk away at the top and be undisputed, to me that seems like the best case.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I always, I think, and then like you said, like if Messi wants to go play at Major League Soccer where there's like no low, the stakes are low. Like no one's going to judge you based off of that. The same way no one's going to judge Ronaldo based off of what he does in El
No.
Nassr.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. Like if you just want to do that, and because who doesn't want to get money? I'm okay with
Yeah.
that, but like I just feel like to stay at the top level. Like I always think of Jordan, right? He did it. He did it in the best way possible. You win a three-peat,
You leave.
and you're on the dream team. You walk away. Okay, the streets keep calling. You come back. You do it again, and you leave. Like you're untouchable. And then you come back, 10 years later and play for the Wizards, but like you own the club. So it's another low stakes thing. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't really count. Like that's not a disgraced situation. You know, it's not like these other guys, like, I mean, like hanging on playing, like, or like you see like just like guys that get on like the pro circuit where it's like I'm doing like, one contract here. I'm doing
Like
another
a Vince
contract
Carter.
there.
was kind of doing.
Yeah, like I don't want to name names, but
Love the
yeah,
guy. Yeah.
you
That's
know,
bad.
but
That's
like
bad.
you're doing that. It's like you're like, yeah, you're a pro, but like, come on, man, like just
Yeah,
hang
but I
it
do feel
up.
like even he
Hang.
was doing it for the love. And to your point, when Michael Jordan came back and played for the Wizards and was missing dunks and not really the same Michael Jordan at the time, people were saying, "Oh, this dude shouldn't have come." But now, 20 years
Yeah,
later, no one remembers that even happened because, like
yeah,
you said, he owned the club. It was like what, a year or two maybe, and there was the stakes really weren't there. It was the Wizards who were,
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, weren't ever competing for
No.
much,
Yeah, the
even like a
stakes were
playoff
so
berth. Like it
exactly.
was
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. The stakes were so low it didn't matter.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
yeah, like it didn't like you're gonna put butts in seats. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Jordan's gonna be in Philly this weekend playing with the Wizards. Yeah, like I'll shell out to go see Jordan play one more time. You know, like on a victory lap. Like that's
Yeah.
people never seen him play. It's fine. Like it's like an exhibition at that point. Like the stakes, like you aren't like you've taken yourself out of the conversation where like I want to be taken seriously as a competitor. And you can still have that brand. Like I remember I still bought a Wizards Jordan jersey.
Did
I was
you?
still
Yeah.
buying
Well, the red
I
and
was still
white one was
buying
fire. The
no, I
throwback
got
that
the blue
they.
one, the blue one, the
Okay.
blue one. I like the blue one that had like the guy in the logo. But
Yeah.
like it's like your brand is still being built, but like this, like everyone knows, it's like Ronaldo. You're not like no one's taking this league seriously, but your brand is still growing.
Yeah.
Messi, you come to MLS, like if you win MLS Cup or not, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But you're still going to make a lot of money, and people are going to like, and a lot of people that have never had the opportunity to see you play will be grateful that you afforded them this opportunity. And if you don't perform well, it doesn't matter. It legitimately doesn't matter. But you stay in Paris or you go back to Barcelona like so many people want you to, now it matters because you're like, I'm still in the conversation. I want to be taken seriously. And it's like, well, if you don't put up, you're gonna look bad. And if you do put up, it doesn't matter. Like there's just no like again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. Like there's
No, you're
nothing
good.
to gain. Don't go
Yeah.
back. Like please don't go back to Barcelona, man. Like it will only like learn from the other people's mistakes that came before you.
Well, what if he does an Ibra in Barcelona? What if he does come to Barcelona with the knowledge that I'm not going to start every game? I'm not going to be the go-to man. I don't want to take away from the youth that you're building here. I'll come and play 30, 40 minutes every few games, or whatever. It's still not a good idea.
I mean, listen, this is just how I feel. I
Yeah.
feel like if you do that, like you're
There's still an
getting in the way.
expectation. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I just
Okay.
feel like you're like not like you're Messi, like you own the club, but like you're getting in the way of someone
Yeah.
else who could be breaking through. Like if you're not there, like and again, like it's your decision. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying like why do that? Why do that? Because like then it's like
Yeah.
okay, if they win, you can't take credit because you weren't a pivotal, like you
Yeah.
weren't really a part of that. And if they lose, it's
Look at my
like
coon out
your
there.
yeah, like your name is still attached to it when they lose. So it's like like if they win, it was this in spite of you.
Yeah.
Or I can't think of the right words. But like if they win, it wasn't because of you. But if they lose, it is your fault. You know how
Lose
the
lose.
media is like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lose-lose. You won't win. Like you won't get the credit if they win, and you'll get all the credit if they lose. And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like well he was taking up this much money on the salary cap, or well, there's no salary cap, but like the wage bill because the league is messed up about that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Or like there's this kid in La Masia that was supposed to come through, and like he could have ran more because Messi. Like there, you
Right.
just
Right.
know
Right.
that
Right.
like whether it's true or false, the narrative will be drawn, and it will just be out there, and I just feel like it wouldn't be a good look.
Yeah.
And if he comes and he does great, it's like, oh well, like been there, done that. Like no one, like it won't be celebrated the same way. It's like it's almost like, I mean, maybe I sound like a hater, but I just feel like no one's really gonna care. Like, oh, like he won with Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona fans will care, but no one else will care. It's not like it just doesn't seem like it will be like the achievement won't mean as much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel, man.
Yeah. No, I think
I'll
I'm
give
with
you
you.
last word though. You finish. You tell me. You give me your closing thoughts.
No, I mean, I think I'm with you. I think that it is, especially in this world where everyone is critiquing everything that everyone does. Like, I was looking at an Instagram story where like this girl bought tickets for her boyfriend to go and see Messi from like they lived in the States somewhere, I think, and she bought it. And even on those the comments, the threads were just like rude. It was like, oh, to go see him lose to Bayern, or to go see to go see Messi and Ghost did not show. And it's like, oh, boy had to pay for the flights in the hotel, but girl got him the $80 ticket. It's just like there's a lot of hate in this world. So yeah, I mean, I think that they're pretty good at mentally blocking all this out, obviously, and they don't read all these comments or whatever. But I think that there's really, to your point, there's what I'm trying to say is there's not a lot to win from it because if the media is kind of like the comments section of an Instagram post, the media is going to come for you. It's kind of their job, and as much as it sucks, it's the reality of things. So they'll make it how they want to make it. So yeah, I think I'm with you, especially with Messi. Like I don't want him really to go to MLS, but I kind of was just like, don't extend because you finished the game. But I love to watch him play. So personally, for like a selfish level, and because PSG is my like top, I want him, at PSG. But he's already not going to be like, a PSG legend. You won't see him coming back in 10 years to the PSG games. He's going to be at every Barcelona game in the future. Like he's cemented in that history, that culture, the city. He already admitted, Barcelona's my home. I will be moving back there when my, my career is over. So now that I live here, I'm like, okay, cool. I love that. Like end it, wrap it up and come home. Let me see you in the streets. But yeah, I think that I'm with you. As hard it is to say, because on the other level, like it's already hard to start seeing Ronaldo in the Saudi league and Messi's career coming to an end, although it's nice to see, and the kids coming up like Mbappe and Holland and Bukayo Saka, so we can have other people to like start to love watching and stuff, even though they're 10 years, 15 years younger. But yeah, for the game, yeah.
I'll give you this. This is my last thing. I'll give you an example of two players who I think one of them did it the right way. The other one tried to do it the right way. They're both Chelsea legends. One of them is Didier Drogba, who won everything. From his perspective, he had won football. Africa Cup of Nations, FA Cup, League Cup, Champions League, Premier League, Pachichi, or Golden Boot, whatever you want to call it. Top goal scorer in the Premier League multiple times. Goes east to China, plays. Goes to Turkey, plays. All these leagues don't matter. So he's just having fun, enjoying the fruits of his labors.
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, you know what? I want to go back to, to competitive football one more time. Goes back to Chelsea, links back up with Mourinho, wins another title, and then goes and founds a soccer team. Oh, well, first he goes to Montreal Impact, I think, in Major League Soccer, and then starts a football club in Phoenix called Rising Phoenix. So, like, in my opinion, like, he did it the right way, and I don't know if it's luck or if Mourinho said, like, if he knew it was a sure thing to win a championship with Mourinho, but like, he left on his own terms and did it in the best way possible. Frank Lampard attempted to leave on his own terms by going to New York City FC, but Man City, being the shiesty cheaters they are, pull them back in. That being said, I'm pretty sure he won another league title with Man City.
Did he?
Before going back. I think so. Don't quote me. Let's just look real quick. But even if he didn't, I feel like that was against, that wasn't his intention. So I let that slide. And also I have a huge bias.
I think that it's going to be one of these Michael Jordan things where it's like, oh, we really even forgot that he played for City for that season or 6 months or whatever it was.
I didn't forget. But yeah, never mind. He didn't win the league. He didn't win the league with City. That's crazy.
I thought first year he didn't, or if maybe Pep wasn't even there yet. I don't know if he was there at the same time.
Yeah, it was 14-15.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's crazy.
14-15, only 3 years after they had won it the first time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. They finished runners up that season.
Okay.
So that would have been.
It also sucks for him that he came back to coach his legendary club and they didn't like that. But yeah.
Yeah, but that's a whole different thing. Anyway, that's all I got, Brooks.
Yeah,
That's all I
same.
got on the topic. I feel like we've covered it all. So
Yeah.
for those of you that are listening on the podcast, maybe find us on Instagram and let us know how you feel about the conversation. And if you're watching us on YouTube, get down, in the comments below and let us know, do players ruin their legacy? Should they strive for longevity, or should you leave at the top? Is it okay if Kylian Mbappe walks away at 25 after he wins everything, if he wins everything? Is it okay if Erling Haaland walks away if Man City win and he's won everything because Norway's never going to even qualify for a World Cup? Let us know what you think. Shout out to Martin Odegaard and Arsenal. This is the Abrazo Football Podcast. We appreciate you guys. Brooks, you got anything to say for the people before we go?
Thank you.
All right, then peace.